Hello and welcome to the BBC News Report at Patcham High School. Today we're discussing the upcoming election.
We've just watched some of the party political broadcasts by
The Conservative Party,
the Labour Party,
the SNP,
Green Party
the Liberal Democrats.
and the Plaid Cymru.
Also this morning we discussed the changes young people want to see in the upcoming general elections.
The issues we spoke about were minimum wage for internships and apprenticeships and the voting age.
The following footage highlights some of the talking points from this morning's discussion.
Zach, what party do you reckon is the best one?
My opinion, I'd say Conservatives.
Why is that?
I just think they're all for the easy kids, you know, like people like us. You know, I think they're for us. That's why I go for them.
Do you feel you know more about the political parties after watching the broadcast?
Yeah. The SNP one was the most effective in my opinion because
I agree with Carlos because I think that Conservative promise like a lot of things that they don't actually carry out, like for instance the NHS is quite.
The problem with the Liberal Democrat one, it listed a bunch of problems but didn't say what they were going to do to fix them.
Do you feel that any of these parties will give you any of the changes that you want to see?
Everything they said was just for kids our age, you know? Like,
it intrigued me to
help.
listen and learn more.
Zach, what do you think? Zach, what party do you reckon is the best one?
My opinion, I'd say Conservatives.
Why is that?
I just think they're all for the easy kids, you know, like people like us. You know, I think they're for us. That's why I go for them.
Sassy, what do you think is the best party?
I don't know.
Alright.
Look at your sheets and ask some of the other questions.
Miles, if you could vote, do you know who you'd vote for and why?
No,
Oh my God.
Why is that?
because I don't know enough information about each party.
Cool.
Jamie, do you feel you know more about the political parties after watching the broadcast?
Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet.
Did these broadcasts make you change your mind about the political parties?
Just direct that.
Anyone?
A bit. I mean, they've all got their flaws and their advantages. I still think the SNP one was the most effective in my opinion because I guess the others did go into more detail about the parties, which made them more educational. So I guess that could be a plus, but it's just the SNP one is a bit more persuasive. If the others were more like that.
So do you know you feel more about the political parties after watching the broadcast?
Yeah, I do feel like I know more. I still, can I say which party I like the most or not?
So whatever you want.
I think I would probably go for the Greens or Liberal Democrats, just because I'm a sort of, liberal left-wing type.
Does anyone disagree with Carlos?
And I think that's the best for the younger generation. Okay?
Yeah,
So
does anyone have a different opinion with Carlos, or does everyone agree with Carlos?
Billy, what do you think?
I agree with Carlos because I think that Conservative promise like a lot of things that they don't actually carry out, like for instance, the NHS is quite corrupt.
Charles?
The problem with the Liberal Democrat one, it listed a bunch of problems, but it didn't say what they were going to do to fix them. And I think that it's not making us want to vote for them enough.
So, if you was able to vote, and they came and you voted for them, what would you tell them to change about the problems?
Well, I don't know. I was talking about their video saying that they listed problems, but they didn't say how they fixed them.
Joe? I think most of them were okay. The only one I didn't quite understand was the female genital mutilation one. It says 130 people were females or 130 women girls around the world are suffering from female genital mutilation. Okay, so how many are in the UK, or how are you going to stop this? And then it just got to the next policy, and I was like, what? Are you for female genital mutilation? What's going on?
Does everyone agree with Carlos?
Yeah.
Everyone's got the same point of view about the political parties. Parties. There's nothing for me to say if everyone agrees with them.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to help a bit. Okay, so we talked about changes that you wanted to see before you watched the videos. Talked about fairness in terms of employment opportunities for you guys for your futures, lowering the voting age. Do you feel that any of these parties will give you any of the changes that you want to see?
Conservatives.
Yes.
Why? What will they give you?
Everything.
They just
Yeah, but
they just seem
Give me some examples.
trying to help.
Hang on. Let's not talk over each other. Zach, can you give us some examples? And then Billy, I want you to respond.
I can't remember any examples, but just everything they said was just for kids our age, you know? Like,
It intrigued me to
help.
listen and learn more.
But you can't give me any examples.
Nah.
Okay, Billy?
We'd have to recap.
I think, well, the Conservatives are already in power, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, all the reasons like they gave, they could do now, couldn't they? So why aren't they, and why haven't they already? If they've got that, like.
Exactly. Sorry, not exactly. Yes. Alexa?
With Labour, they said they'd lower tuition fees as well. But how would they do that? Because wouldn't it involve more tax things? If they want to raise the minimum wage, wouldn't that involve like higher taxes and things like that? So it would be quite a mixed opinion for a lot of people about Labour.
So you'd feel that their policies that they're offering you are unrealistic?
Look, well, I would agree with them if they could actually do it in a way of not making people upset on how they're going to rate. Would it raise the taxes? Like, you wouldn't know. They haven't really said anything to do with it.
Who would have to pay for those changes?
Yeah.
Great. Alex, you got any point?
I think they all gave good points on what they were going to do to help us, but they just need to say how they're going to help us, because it's not. Because some of them are pointing out just facts and just saying, oh, we're going to do this and that, but they're not saying how and how it's going to benefit us, and who they're specifying. Is it going to help us as young people, or when we're adults, or everyone?
Brilliant point. Aaron?
I feel that the SNP one was more of an advert. Because of that, it was a lot more persuasive to us.
Did it give you any facts about any policy, anything?
I can't remember.
So you've talked about the SNP one being persuasive. It has cute, small people on it.
Yeah, I guess...
Yes, I'm all up for cute people running around. That's lovely. Did they tell you anything that they are going to do to change the country for the better?
No.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I guess you've got to kind of have a balance. It's kind of like the Greens one, but you know, the Greens one showed real people as well as the. So if it would be better balanced if it cut from just politicians talking about this sort of stuff to actual scenes. Yeah, you've got to try and get a balance, like, you know, yin yang. type thing.
I agree. Jack?
Even though the Labour Party did not have that much on saying what the problems were in the country, they did say quite bluntly what they were going to do to affect our future, like lowering the cost of tuition, lowering the voting age, etc.
Okay, brilliant, Mark.
Can we watch them again?
No, don't have time. You need to listen.
Yeah, I know that was the problem the first time, that's why I said can we watch them.
Yeah, no, you need to listen once. Okay, so I want to just go back to this point about the SNP one and persuasive techniques and stuff. The SNP, what they tried to do is just do an advert. Okay, they haven't necessarily given you any content. What do you think that they are trying to say about young people if they've just not said anything to you?
They don't care about us.
Okay, explain that.
Well, if they don't want to talk about us, then that means they obviously don't care about our opinion. So
Okay.
I don't like them.
What do you think politicians should say to you when they're trying to persuade you to agree with their policies? Billy, what were you going to say firstly?
I'm not sure if this is off topic, but the representatives of the party can like say a lot about what the party intends to do. Like Conservative has a man representing them, so it may not be as like diverse as maybe the Green Party, as they have a girl like representing them.
Great.
Woman.
Women, yes. Okay, but do you think that young people need advertising or do you need facts and figures?
Facts and figures.
Why? Jamie, why?
I don't know.
Think it through. Anyone? Zach?
Facts and figures, because that's actually showing what they have done, and what they can do.
That's the evidence.
Yeah, evidence.
It's all about the evidence.
Yeah.
We can't believe it if it's
Statistics there.
Should we do a little poll?
Okay.
Conservatives, hands up. Conservatives?
Conservatives. Hashtag David Cameron.
Okay, Greens, hands up. Greens.
I'm not sure if I want to vote Green or Liberal. Green for National.
Labour.
Aye.
I thought they explained some of the problems that are with younger people's education, but they didn't really give any way of saying how they are going to improve this.
I felt like there's more adverts than they were persuading people to vote for them. I think the Green Party was very persuasive because they didn't just tell us what they need to do, they told us how they're going to do it as well.
Yeah, the Labour Party stood out to me because it kind of evolves me in later life. So if I want to go to university, then tuition fees are lower, and then they want to lower the voting age, but I don't really know how that's going to affect me if I'm not learning politics in school. So if I learnt politics in school, then I reckon I could have more of a say in what I want to do.
They sort of said, they all said sort of the same thing, we'd make the voting age younger. None of them said anything else that made them unique, so somebody would vote for them instead of the other parties.
That the party's representatives were not very relatable to. The one for the Conservatives was very he was your typical politician, and it doesn't encourage people to get involved because they feel like they can't be like him. He's probably gone to a private school and stuff like that. But I think the Green Party is very diverse and opens doors to people who may not be interested, and
Yeah, a bit, but I'm not really that interested in. I just find it quite boring, to be honest. I just find it quite stupid, and then they just have arguments about it. It's just
Tell me more.
It made us think more about what they wanted to do, and what they probably could do. But then again, what they say on the broadcast sometimes doesn't happen. Some of them just don't do it.
I think they should speak how they would speak to because they're speaking all different language. Like, I feel like it's a different language because I don't really understand all that. I just think they should like try to talk how young people talk, like, and then it will engage them more.
Right, well today we watched a broadcast on all the political parties and what they bring if we voted for them.
Today I found quite interesting what Conservatives said about them cutting money for schools. I think that will not benefit us because we will have less resources.
I think you should be allowed to get involved, whatever your age, obviously 16 upwards. I think you're going to get like 40-year-olds who don't really care about politics as well as 16-year-olds, and I think if you're not interested in politics, you probably won't vote. So the people voting will still be people who are interested and have views, and left wing and right wing.
They were mostly interesting because they said that they would lower tuition fees to give out more apprenticeships, and more importantly, they said they'd up the minimum wage. I think that would be good for more people because they'd get more experience from earning quite a lot of money for their future life.
If they were going to lower the voting age, I think they should teach politics in school more, so we understand politics and their policies. At the moment, I do not feel involved in politics because I don't get taught it enough in school.
There was this boy that used to go to school and he has quite strong views. He wants to vote, but because he's underage he can't, so he finds it really difficult, so he takes it out on social media.
Well, they have to make it fair to young people as well as adults, and work for everyone. Well, I think they think too much about adults and how it's going to affect them, and don't think about the youth. Think about how it will affect the upcoming children. Our life and education. That's happening now.
No, I don't think politics feel that relevant to me because I don't really know much about it, but it doesn't affect how I live, like day-to-day life. Like, it doesn't. When I wake up, like if something's changed, it doesn't affect me. My parents and family don't really go on about politics, so it doesn't bother me.
I do politics. I don't know how I do politics. We just sit in a circle or group thing, just talk about it and sort it out.